Hello guys, welcome back. Today, should you pull Joe or not? The choice is very simple in my opinion, but before we get into into the details, you should know more or less what he does. Basically, Joe is a burn character, he burns the enemy and himself. He takes a little bit less, 50% less damage from burn. He can apply his burn that he has on himself on the enemy. To get more buffs and more power on the ultimate. Then he can buff the allies 1% per burn stack. He can also, the main thing is he shields the allies, and if they get attacked at any point, he's going to riposte with an AoE that applies burn and does damage. He can do that, I believe, an infinite amount of times, so it depends on certain scenarios. It's going to excel more than others. If you're doing a 1v1, then it's going to be a little less. Unless the enemy is doing an AoE, if you're doing 1v1 damage, it's not going to be as crazy as if you were going against a multiple adds, multiple AoE boss, right? So depending on certain scenarios, it's going to be better or worse than other teams. That said, he is still a luxury pool. What the fuck is a luxury pool? Last time I mentioned it, people were a little bit confused. A luxury pool is a pool that is not essential. So, do you need a supercar? Do you need a Lamborghini to go around the city? No. Is a car that you don't need to be fancy a luxury car? Yes, that is the same thing as that I use for this type of things. Is Joe a character that you don't need but you can use for niche stuff and because it might be fun to use? Yes. Do you need him on your account? And if you don't have him, you're going to regret it because you're not going to be able to clear certain types of content? No, absolutely not. So that's why a luxury pool is. It's a pool of a character that is not essential to your roster to efficiently clear some piece of endgame or some piece of PvE content. Okay. So now that we know that, Joe is a character that it's actually pretty fun to use, but it's not essential. So he could be used as a DPS, but you can also put him in the Spadodia team if you have the Spadodia team. So you can do Spadodia, Joe, Isolde, and then a healer, and that's a functional team that doesn't really rely on Joe, so he can be doing his thing, and is not expected to do as much damage as if he were a free to play, if he were a DPS. So in that case, it might have a little more screen time. But if you don't like the burn, and if you don't have any character that does burn, if you don't have Isolde, if you're a new player, if you don't have Isolde, you don't care about Spadodia, and you're thinking like, should I pull Joe? But if I pull Joe, then I have to worry about getting Isolde, right? So I don't think that's a good idea, because Isolde just came by on a scam banner, and then Spadodia, it's kind of falling off, to be honest, compared to the other characters. Unless we get a new character in the future, sure. I mean DPS, because we are getting another character. I'm going to talk about it in just a second. Sure. If you like burn. Otherwise, you shouldn't really worry about getting Joe, because it's a niche character that gives you a fun gameplay, but not an important one, okay? It's a fun gameplay, it's a niche gameplay. It's like saying, oh, I want to do burn, I want to do poison, right? You don't need to play poison, right? But it's something that you might want to build. Now, that said, moving on, it's also important to know who's coming. And obviously, this video is mainly dedicated to free-to-play players, and you're not going to be able to pick up every character. As a free-to-play, you should know this, right? So since you have to skip somebody, you need to know who you want to build, which teams you want to make, and which characters to look for. Now, we know that the limited characters are going to be insane regardless, so that's something to think about, that Anjonala is coming in 2 patches. So after the next one, the one after is going to be Anjonala. So in 2025 or January, whatever, Anjonala is going to be here. A lot of people are going to go crazy. Anjonala is extremely powerful, and you really don't want to miss her. That's going to be another must pull. They're rare this time nowadays, but I feel like Anjonala is another must pull, regardless. That said, with this in mind, what do you want to do? If you want to go for burn, you're going to have to suffer through a lot of time of whatever stuff happening. happening, because if you don't have Isolde, now you are going to use Joe on his own with a couple of characters that are shielding him, buffing him, sure. But if you don't have anybody, it's going to be the only burn one, it's going to feel even worse. And since it's not a hyper carry that works on everything, it's going to be feeling bad. So if you don't really care about burn, then maybe don't pick him up, right? That said, on top of that, if you think about it, poison is coming. Do you want to do poison? If you want to do poison and you really, really want to do poison, let's say you have Sotheby. You have Sotheby and you want to pick up Tuesday. Even if you don't have Sotheby, Tuesday is coming right after Joe. Tuesday is the core character of the poison team. So you cannot skip her if you want to do poison team. If you're picking her up, now you need to worry about Willow as well. Or you have to worry about getting a Sotheby, because Sotheby, believe it or not, some of you know, but I made a video about it if you want to know more about the situation. Sotheby is getting a big buff and she's becoming actually pretty fucking good. Even as just a healer, she becomes really, really good for the healing and for the extra poison application. So if you want to do the top min-maxed poison team, is going to be, you're going to have in your team, you have to have Willow, Tuesday, and Sotheby. Those three characters, you're gonna have 50 billion stacks of poison on the enemy. So you're gonna eat good with these characters. But if you're going for that route, then you don't have space for Joe. That said, if you don't care about poison, there's still an argument to be made about other characters, because like in 2.2, Anjonala is coming, and then after Anjonala, Lopera is coming. Sure, Lopera is another burn character. Technically, it's a burn character, but practically, it's a really fucking good buffer. Buffer character that she can also heal for like 5k. It's like her healing is insane, and sure, she applies some burn. She can apply some burn bullet on the allies, and she has almost permanent bullet uptime. That's fine, but it's not a character essential for any burn. If you don't have Lopera, burn doesn't work. It works, but Lopera can also be used for other teams. So you might pick up Lopera regardless if you have a burn team or not. That's what I mean. So all of these characters with big value are just right around the corner. Also Argus, if you want to pick up Argus, which is an excellent raid character. All of these characters are really enticing. So I don't want to say anything explicitly, but if you're free to play, you shouldn't get the character, okay? You shouldn't get Joe if you're free to play, and if you're going for other characters. You should save your pools and get for the characters that are going to make your teams way better, or if they're going to help your roster in general, like Anjonala and Lopera. If you want to make a new team, like Tuesday, if you want to like enhance your raid teams with Argus, all of these characters coming, and there's not much you can do after that. After 2.2, we are getting the other poison character, Willow, and then after Willow we're getting Flutterpage. And if you just go check the Flutterpage kit on my video, that I made yesterday, Flutterpage is basically a mini Winsong 37. So she has like a mini Winsong ultimate. She has a lot of extra follow-up attacks. She goes into like a channel and she keeps casting her cards if you have them. Like it's kind of crazy. She also buffs Genesis and reality damage, and they can crit as well. So it's a pretty big character that you might want to save for, and that's coming after the limited patch. So all of these pools required to get these characters, you might want to have a clear line on what you want to do, okay? So TLDR again, before we wrap it up, Joe is a good character. It's a really good character. It's not important though. That is the problem. Joe is an important it's a fun character that can enable you to more fun gameplay options, but it's not a key character that is going to help you clear stuff that you couldn't clear before, okay? So pick him up if you have spare. If you're not free to play, or if you're free to play but you have so many, you got lucky, maybe you did your math, you were not going for poison, and then you have a chance of getting a free character of your choice, and this might sounds like a fun one, sure, right? And if you like him, obviously this is not the video for you. If you like him, you pick him up, good luck, have fun with it. So I think that is it. If I forgot something that is really important to mention, let me know in the comments, okay? Also, if you want to know about everything about the game or have help, if you're a new player, you want help, come join my Discord. It's in the description. You're gonna have a lot of help. I see people all the time there. They go there, they ask, they immediately get helped by the members of our community. So give it a thought, okay? It's gonna be fun. There's all gachas there, not just R99. If you want to play something else, you want to talk with other people about other gachas, we have all different categories. You're gonna have a good time, okay? Join Discord, and if you want to see me live playing a variety or other gachas, twitch.tv/Jakazin. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.